Happy Mother's Day to all you lovely women out there. And know today and every single day that life would not be life without you. Today is the day I want each and every one of you women out there, especially those who are mothers, to acknowledge yourself, to appreciate yourself, to embrace yourself with immense amount of self-love and self-care, and to know that it is your right to do that every single day. I know, because I'm a mother too, that if we don't take this time out for ourselves, it can be one of the biggest challenges in our life. It can almost seem impossible to take that time out. I know this is very common and almost second nature or instinctive for mothers to go through guilt when they take time out for themselves. For mothers to feel almost as if self-care is selfish. For those of you that have been taking time out for self-care, for those mothers that have been consistently doing that, today I salute you, today I honor you, and I encourage you to keep doing what you're doing and keep sharing that with people around you. And for those of you that have been finding it one of the biggest challenges in their life, to take that time out for self-care, for self-love, to take that time out for themselves, now is the time for you to start. If you feel that taking that time out for yourself is selfish because you're taking that time away from being with your child or for doing something extra for your child during that time, let me take today as an opportunity to facilitate you out of that illusion. If you are one of those mothers that don't find time or manage to take any time out for yourself, or find yourself extremely guilty when you do so, let me share with you that what will happen is that we as mothers think that we have this heart that is very different from a normal human being heart, or from a heart of a non-mother. And this is where we attach to an identity that now we are a mother. So different rules apply to mothers. And we get so extreme on that we forget who we are before we became a mother. We forget that person. We move on from that person. We feel we are not entitled to be that person anymore because now we are a mother, and now there are certain expectations of us from our surroundings, and now there are certain expectations of us from ourselves. We set such high standards that we mentally and physically exhaust ourselves. But is that worth it? Is that going to get us anywhere? Why is it that we think self-care and self-love is selfish? And we hold ourselves away from self-care and self-love because we feel that our job now has become to be that unconditional fountain of love that pours its entire heart and soul to our child and to our family. But it is okay if we don't serve ourselves. But what we don't realize is that, yes, as a mother, we have this unconditional heart which can pour love excessively to our loved ones. But what we don't realize is we think that form of unconditional love will keep pouring. But we fail to realize is that when we keep pouring from a cup that is already empty, that is already depleted, what will come out At some point or another, without fail, is frustration, is anger, is all these emotions that we wish we never had, is all these emotions that we feel suddenly when we are having those emotions that, oh, this is bound to happen because there's so much expected out of us, there's so much for us to do, but we don't realize actually who has set those expectations, who has set so much for us to do, who has set those standards. What have we done to become so drained out? Of course, we know what we've done. Of course, we know how much goes into being a mom. Of course, it's a 24/7 job because you never know what is expected out of you the next moment or what is thrown upon you the next moment. So I understand all of that. But however, what are you doing to fill that cup of yours? What are you doing that is predictable? What are you doing consistently every single day for you so that the unpredicted happens? You are unshakable. You are unstoppable. What are you doing to fill your cup so that you can unconditionally flow? Because what you will be flowing from is your excess. You won't be flowing from your drainage. A lot of us think, oh, what exactly is self-care? That time out for hours at the spa or a week long of retreat. What is self-care? Well, self-care doesn't have to be fixated to anything. Self-care can be something that you even just do for 5 minutes every single day. Don't set such high expectations of yourself towards self-care that you fail to do it, that your own self-care regime overwhelms you. If self-care is new to you, start with baby steps. You could even do something consistently every single day, but make a commitment to do it. And it may take just 5 minutes every single day, but do it. And know that when you do that, it serves you. It makes you feel better. It balances you. It centers you. Now, for example, I have consistently been doing a self-care regime for the past 2 years. Is serving me till date today. And my self-care only takes 20 minutes. I'm happy to share it with you and see if you can find some inspiration from it, you can use it, or you can modify it, and you can just kind of get more open to self-care and know that it doesn't take much time. But you know what? It can change your entire lifetime. It will amaze you. It can change the way you respond to life. It can change the way you react to circumstances and situations that normally would shake you up, and suddenly you find yourself more balanced and more centered just because you did what you did when you started your day. For example, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I take maybe 2 or 3 minutes to lie in bed and just focus on the feelings of gratitude. Focus on what I'm grateful for on that particular day. It could be something as simple as, I'm grateful for my breath. I'm grateful for waking up alive. I'm grateful for my loving family. I'm grateful for having my loving family today with me, safe and sound. Simple things, anything that comes to mind, but just that feeling and emotions of gratitude for a few minutes every single day. The next thing I do is I believe in moving my body the first thing I wake up in the morning, because I believe when you move your body as soon as you wake up, you energize yourself. So I know that some of us find it hard to commit to a workout because maybe it's not been a part of your life. But what if I was to share with you a workout regime that takes only 5 minutes of your time? Do you think you could or would be willing to commit to something like that? Like 5 minutes of workout every single day. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you under the description of this link. So do click on it. I call it my power moves in the morning, and it takes me exactly 5 minutes or even under 5 minutes. So as soon as I wake up, I do my power moves and then I hit the shower. While I'm taking a shower, I on affirmations, which takes almost 10 minutes. I listen to positive affirmations that really charges me up for the day. And so now, if I think about my morning regime, from my gratitude to my positive power moves and to my positive affirmations, these three things that I do consistently takes me, all in all, a maximum of 20 minutes. Do you think you could commit to that? I promise you, any self-care or self-love routine that you commit to today will be worth it, not only for this moment, but will last you this worthiness for all the years that you do this. Why I'm saying this is, I know this from a lot of the experiences that other women that I've spoken to have shared with me. Some of them are friends, some of them are people I know, some of them are people that I'm coaching currently. What I've seen is that the women that have failed to commit to any form of self-care or self-love routine are at a stage of their life whereby they feel like they were failures as a mom. They feel like they supposedly are supposed to be happy. They feel like they have everything today, but yet they feel this sense of emptiness in their heart. They feel unfulfilled. They feel that they have endless reasons to be unhappy about. But what's happened is, in the whole journey of motherhood that they have gone through and are still going through, they have forgotten themselves. They have forgotten that child that they first knew before they became a mother. They have forgotten that they were a child once upon a time too. They have forgotten who they are. They have forgotten how to connect with themselves because they never made that time to connect with themselves. They never felt they had any time to think about themselves or get connecting with themselves. And I feel the pain of all the women out there who have gone through that, because I went through that, but for only a short period. I went through that and I had a sudden awakening because I also saw my own mother go through that. So when I saw myself unconsciously following the same pattern, I realized, oh my God, I never saw myself in this place. I never thought I would find myself feeling this way. I always thought I would be able to be beyond that. I will be able to balance the journey of motherhood. But sometimes what happens is when you're in it, you get so engrossed in it, you're not even able to see that you are in it until something happens while you are in it, until you have an outburst or you find yourself at a dark place where you never saw yourself at. And then you know that you're somewhere where you don't belong. You know that you're somewhere where you never saw yourself. And you know that no one can get you out of here except for you. Because no one can put you somewhere you don't want to be but you. I know that hurts, but that's the truth. And the sooner we accept this truth, the sooner we can move on from the truth. So yes, today I would like to gift you love. And the truth about life is, for anyone to want to move from where we are, for anyone to want to get out of that zone where somehow has become a comfort zone because we have been living in that zone for a while, it takes pain for us to want to get out of that comfort zone. It takes the realization of pain. So if there's any reason or purpose for me to take you to that root of pain or that realization of pain today, is because it is only from that pain, fortunately or unfortunately, whatever your mind makes you think at this point, is that it's only pain that makes us change something in our life, that makes us want to move out from where we are now. Now I know some of you may be thinking, but I've been living like this for 10, 20, 30 years now. What is the purpose of changing now? If I didn't change all those years, why should I change now? There is no point of changing now. But you know what? Shouldn't you be asking yourself, or couldn't you be asking yourself instead, that why shouldn't I change now? Why shouldn't I start looking after myself now? Why do you think it's too late? It's never too late, because who are you changing for? What are you changing for? You are changing for yourself, and it's never too late to change for yourself. So start now, start today, start this moment to take any steps for you. The biggest challenge about anything in life is that first step. And it's only when you start having the taste of that first step and then the second step that you realize, hey, this is not so bad. I'm enjoying this. And trust me, you will enjoy this, because you are doing this for you. And you will see that every single step that you take forward for yourself will bring 10 other steps forward towards you vibrationally. This will raise your frequency in you and your frequency around you, even towards your surroundings. And for those of you that constantly go through a roller coaster of emotions, riding very briefly into joy, very briefly into happiness, and down into depression again, or into sadness, or into unfulfillment, or into anger, and into frustration, you will see that with consistent practice towards a self-care routine, you will be able to keep your emotions much more balanced than they ever have been. You will be able to see shifts in your life that you never got to experience, and you will start thinking that people around you have changed. But what is actually happening is that you have changed. And it is when you change that you're able to receive the goodness that have always been in your life, but you were not able to receive it because you were so blocked with your focus towards all the things that are not taking place in your life. And that may be maybe 2% of your life, but instead of focusing on the 98% of greatness in your life, you're focusing on the 2% of your life because you are unfulfilled, and you are finding reasons for your unfulfillment to justify that unfulfillment to yourself and your surroundings. Now, isn't that insanity? And you know what's a bigger insanity? The bigger insanity is you're not even aware you're doing that. I hope that this message has moved you in some way. I hope that this message has resonated with you in some way for you to want to shift and change towards doing more for you, towards doing more for that inner child in you that has been deprived, that has been left unwatered for a while now. Treat yourself as the most beautiful plant in the garden, and make sure that you constantly water yourself first, that you constantly nurture yourself first, that you constantly feed that high vibration and energy of positivity like the sun upon yourself every single day. And never feel guilty about doing that, because it is only when you are radiating with positivity, and you are radiating with joy, and you are radiating with love and in love, that you can share that with others. So it's never selfish. Get that out of your head. It is never selfish, because whatever you are radiating will effortlessly pour on and be passed on to others. And this is the gift and the beauty of serving yourself before you serve others, so that your cup is always full to share its overflow to all the people that you cross paths with, and that your cup is always full, enough and more than enough, that you can always pour, not just from the overflow, but from the cup itself. But as you constantly fill your cup every single day, you will always reach that fullness. You will always feel whole. You will always feel complete. And you will not, and you will never be that parent who is unfulfilled. You will never be that parent who says, oh, I did XYZ for my child, but my child didn't do any of it for me. You will never bring up your child because you want your child to fill your cup. You will never bring up your child because you want your child to fulfill each and every expectation of yours and each and every dream of yours. This is when I say, when your cup is not full, you are thinking you're operating from unconditional love. But what actually happens unconsciously is that you are operating from an empty cup, and that empty cup is always thirsty. That empty cup is always waiting for others to quench its thirst. And that's when you are being that parent who is actually going to overwhelm your child with your expectations. Now, is it your child's fault that you didn't fill your cup? So hence, your child is put in a situation to fill your cup? Now, something to think about. Wouldn't life be better for you and your child if you constantly filled your cup first and then let your overflow bring up your child? Because while doing that, you are showing your child, as each parent knows, your child observes every move you make. So you are giving your child to model. You're giving your child an opportunity to model a pattern that has worked for you, which is, if you show them that you have been serving yourself, if you show them that you practice self-care and self-love every single day, what are you training them? You're training them to also love themselves. You're training them to also look after themselves. And at the end of the day, isn't that what each and every parent wants? That their child become that independent being that learns to look after him or herself. Now, if you want your child to be that, are you that person? Are you that person who is that independent being who looks after his or her needs? Or are you waiting around for other people to quench your thirst? Are you waiting around for other people to serve you? So if you want to bring up an independent child, make sure that your child sees that you are first that independent child. So all you lovely mothers out there, I want you to always remember, raise yourself every single day before you raise your child every single day. I want to wish each and every one of you a truly happy Mother's Day, and I want to thank you for allowing me to connect with you today. I want to thank you for allowing me to share a part of me with you today. I want to thank you for listening to me all this while. Mwah. And I always want you to know and remember that I love you. Mwah.